There we go. We're on YouTube now. YouTube's going. Should we just start the streams and leave them running? No, 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 no.
I was standing on there, I was thinking the same thing. You can see my cheeks.
That's 10 pounds. Oh, we did see 4. One, two, 1, 2. Okay, the YouTube connection's a little bit behind.
But it's on?
Yeah. They could sit wherever they want. It's okay. If they want to sit there and cook, let them. I want them to vote for me. I don't want to boss them around. You guys live wherever you're at.
So you said we're live on YouTube? And
YouTube's on, but okay, we're on live on Facebook, and it's saying we're on YouTube again.
All right. Hello, everybody on Facebook, YouTube. So we're kind of having a little bit of technical difficulties with our streams, but they will be up and running. They're running right now, but with a few minor glitches, as comes with a lot of the technology that we got. So, good evening. Thank you guys for tuning in, and for the ones that are here right now. So we're running our forum from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And any chief and council candidates that are running, past and former and now, are welcome. And the main theme of the forum today is how you're going to help the youth and the young adults, both off nation and on nation. So for the ones that are here right now, think about those type of things that you're going to be doing. There's a good fair bit that stay off nation, and it's kind of hard to come and travel for a lot of people, right? So they don't all have the means, and not everybody gets the same cards dealt in life. So for the ones that are out off our nation, we would like to ask and hear about what you guys are going to do for them, right? So that would be the youth and the young adults, mainly everybody under 30. If you're over 30, you're guaranteed an elder at that point. So again, we're running from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And my name is Ethan Yellow Old Woman. I'm the moderator. And Steven Yellow Old Woman, my pops, is working the technological side of things. He's making sure the things run smoothly as possible. We're again at Little Chicago Church. That's near the Roe River. It's the road towards Airwood. You'll see it. We have a fireplace running, so it's nice and toasty in here. It'll be, if it's negative 30, it's going to be plus 30 in here, guaranteed. There's a little area, and that little wood stove, we're going to keep you warm. Again, there's also refreshments and washrooms. So for all the candidates that do come, and for all the members of our nation that do come, there's washrooms, there's amenities, there's food, there's coffee, pop, whatever, you name it, we got it. And just don't be afraid to ask any questions. So for the ones that are at home, I highly recommend that you ask these questions in your home environment. A lot of times when you're at home, you're safer, you're more comfortable, and you'll really say whatever comes to your mind, right? So we have a stream on Facebook under Steve Yao. So that's on Facebook. If you search it up, it's on, his name is Steve Yao. And then we also have a stream on YouTube, Steve Yao. So in those streams, you can comment and ask any question you want. And the candidates that are here, they'll be ready to answer that type of question.
That's right. We're set up virtually. So if you want to take part tonight and ask questions or just attend and see what the candidates have to say, that's how we're set up here tonight. And we got a room full of people here eager to go, and we're just kind of working through a little bit of the last minute technical stuff here. So if you're watching on Facebook tonight and YouTube, welcome, and we're glad to have you here. And there's more on YouTube tonight and Facebook than we could fit in this little church here in Little Chicago.
Yes, we can fit thousands on the internet, and we can fit not even 10% of that inside this little church. So you guys at home, I highly recommend that you just stay there and you answer those type of questions, and we welcome all the candidates to come out here. And if you don't have Facebook, or everybody's got YouTube, right? So we're on YouTube under Steve Yao. And if you got any questions and you can't seem to comment on there, you can text me. My number is 587-727-2028. Again, that's 587-727-2028. Text me any questions. Give me your name. If you want to leave it anonymous, leave it anonymous. But that's my phone number. It's also on the poster. If you guys seen the poster, you can text me anytime between 5 and 8 p.m. After that, it's done. But I will pass on those questions to the candidates here. Again, my name is Ethan Yellow Old Woman. I'm the moderator, and we welcome everybody to attend and ask any questions, please.
Okay, what we're going to do, we're just going to leave the streams running here, but we're going to mute the microphones, and once we're getting ready to start, we will unmute the microphones and start here. So if we got any announcements in that as we get ready, we'll announce that as well. So we're going to be muting the microphones here, but leaving the stream running. And so we'll look forward to having a good time here tonight in Little Chicago. We're going to be going and starting here really soon. If you're watching virtually and you're on either Facebook or YouTube, message me or Vanessa if you want to ask a question virtually. We could have you involved as part of it here tonight. And as long as you have a phone or something that with a camera and a Chrome extension browser, then you could ask questions virtually here. So questions that come in virtually will give priority to the ones that want to be on camera and that. So if you're a behind the scenes keyboard warrior anonymous, you might not get your question answered or even asked. But if you want to put your face to it and put your face to the question and who you are, then we'll give you priority and bring you in here tonight. So we're just getting ready here. We got quite a few candidates here showing up, and there's still more on the way here. And we'll have Ethan to say a few words here as we're getting ready to go. Ethan.
All right, thank you, Stephen. It's kind of weird telling him Stephen. That's my dad. My name is Ethan Yellowman. I'm the moderator for you guys today. So everything that you guys got questions, and you know, it's kind of coming up every now and then, but I do know you guys are passionate about your platforms, right? We're pertaining towards the youth and the young adults. And so, you know, watch your speech, you know, no F-bombs, no swears, anything that can be misinterpreted or interpreted as vulgar, you know, maybe save that for at home. You know, I heard something came up with, you know, I don't like to name names, but my pop's over there. And yeah, so like I can tell there's a lot of passion in your guys' platforms. So, you know.
Oops, sorry.
So just, you know, be mindful of those things. Okay, so we're pertaining towards the youth and the young adults. And a big chunk of the voters are between 18 and 35, right? And a lot of the voters are off reserve between those ages, right? They're going to school, they're working, you know, they're starting lives. So we would like to hear what you guys are going to do for them, okay? So we're going to give you guys ample amount of time, but I will be a little bit of, there's a word, they call it a stickler, you know. I'm going to make sure that you guys stay on to your time. We'll give you a little bit, maybe we'll give you 1 or 2 minutes on top of the time that we give you guys. But we're going to be on the ball with that. So we got a good amount of candidates showing up, and I'm just going to say one more time for the people on the live stream that you guys can ask questions through the comments, and they have the capabilities here to live stream your face on the screen as well. So if you guys want to tune in with that, the opportunity is there. But at the same time, like if you guys are just like, a lot of times you feel a lot more safer when you're at home, right? So you want to ask more questions and get more involved with things, especially when you're in a more of a comfortable environment. So the opportunity is there. We're live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, under Steve Yao. So if you guys search up Steve Yao on Facebook and YouTube, the live streams are there. And if you guys got any questions, my number is on the poster, and I'll share it here. My number is 587-727-2028. Okay, I just got thrown for a loop. I'm just hearing myself in the back. So I'll leave that into the technological guy over here. I'm not too smart in that sphere.
That's part of the technological difficulties and challenges here. So the Facebook live stream came on at the same time as you were talking, so it was a little bit behind. And as you could tell, it was a few seconds behind what you were talking about here live. So we're mostly getting it all set and that. So candidates are messaging me, come over, come down, we'll accommodate you. The house is packed here tonight. Geez, I don't think I've ever seen it this full in here since me and Vanessa's wedding 30 years ago. Where is Vanessa? So it's packed here tonight. It's warm. The wood stove's going, but there's so much body heat in here tonight. And love, I don't think we even need the wood stove burning. So back to you, Ethan.
All right, thank you. So bear with us on the people on the live stream. There's people tuning in from Calgary and like anyways, off the nation. So just kind of bear with us. There's a good amount of people showing up. Like my pops was saying here, I don't even think I've seen it this packed. Normally we do kids church, and like it's a bunch of little ones. So like it's so different seeing a lot of the older ones in here right now. So again, we're gonna be sharing everybody slowly started coming in at 5, and we're gonna go till about 8 p.m. Right? You know, the opportunity to go longer is there. But mainly we're going to go from 5 to 8. So come on down, join us. We're going to be starting in a few minutes here.
If you're an older candidate and not so technological savvy, you want to get your message out, this might be your best opportunity here. So come on down here tonight. We'll accommodate you. And so those of you that are friends with your uncles, grandfathers, all that online, and you know they ain't technological savvy and they need to get their message out over the
The internet?
Internet and YouTube mixed up. Interlube. It's live. So we're making mistakes here. We're having a good time. So if you know an older candidate that needs some help getting his message out here using technology on YouTube and Facebook, send them down to Little Chicago. We're going here at least till 8 o'clock tonight. As many people are here tonight, and we might be going a little bit longer. Ain't that right, Ethan?
Yeah, we can definitely go longer. And I'm very happy that we're doing the live streams. There's a lot of kids that are, it's Sunday, so getting ready for school, having Sunday dinners. And a lot of people that got to be up early for work in the morning, right? You can tune in online, Facebook and YouTube, and the opportunity to ask questions are there. You can, as the candidates come up and share their platforms, you can single a candidate out if you'd like, or you can ask a question for all of them. They'll be streaming it, and you can comment under the comment. And like, if you're a keyboard warrior, I welcome those comments. Send them in, put them in there. And if they're a little bit vulgar, we'll kind of like PG rate it, but we'll still ask those questions. Again, you got the opportunity to ask questions at home. It's a little toasty in here. We got the fire stove running.
Somebody have a heavy-duty chair like my dad? We need an extra solid chair here. So if you're willing to exchange. Okay, here's one.
Again, so we're going till 8. We have a good amount of the candidates here, and we welcome more, right? And if the candidates that can't come and can't make it, we welcome you to join us through the live stream. We have the capabilities here. If you download, it's a Google Chrome live stream thing. It's like an app. If you download that, we can put your face on here, and the people that are watching through YouTube and Facebook will be able to see you, and well, they'll get to know you, right? So I'll say again, a good chunk of the voters are between 18 and 35. That's a lot of voters, right? So we're here tonight, and you guys can share your platform on what you guys will do for those people in that age range, the young adults, and pertaining to a lot of the youth, right? This is the youth and the young adult forum, so we would like to hear what you're going to do for those spheres and age groups. So again, we're going to be starting here in the next few minutes as more come in. And before we do start, we're going to ask our elder Flora to come up and say a prayer, or I'll just go there. Yeah. But once I get the go ahead.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit full in here.
So I could go.
Yeah, I might have to just go ahead and when we're ready to start and bring her the mic.
Okay. All right, so once these people get settled down, we're going to go and we're going to start. Yeah, so don't be shy. For anybody that's out there on live streams, don't be shy. Ask the questions, right? You're in the safety of your own environment at home. You know, you're not in public, so you can ask any question you want. You can ask them on Facebook or YouTube. The opportunity is there. Or you can text myself. Again, my number is 587-727-2028. And you can text me. I'll give your name and the question that you're asking, and I'll pass it along. So we're going to start in the next few minutes here.
We just ask if you're going to ask questions virtually over the webcam, you put some clothes on and do it appropriately.
Yes, please. We don't want any blunders or bloopers here. We're going to try and keep this a little bit PG. Again, for the ones that are just showing up, you know, I can tell we're very passionate about the people that are going to get in there, but refrain from using any vulgar statements or swear words or anything of that can be misinterpreted or interpreted in that sense. You know, just watch your mouth. And I do understand that you're very passionate about your platform and the reasons you're running. And just be very careful about the things that you say.
Yeah, he keeps saying that. I got to admit, at one of the forums, I dropped an F-bomb. So he keeps saying that. It's not against any of you candidates here specifically. It's against me. He's telling me to stay in line, be respectful. So I'm sorry. My apologies.
Yes, please. Awesome.
Here's who I have. Okay, so here's who we have first from as they arrived. So we have Conrad Timothy Lohorn, Alfred Alfie Lohorn, Paul Melting Tallow, Trevor Jack Royal, Shaylin Smith, Chris Eagle Rib, Jamie Spring Chief, Gordon Muggsy Red Crow Senior, Junior, Rufus Red Gun, Shirley Spotted Eagle, Wesley Water Chief, Ron Mini Heads, Carlin Big Snake, Louise Dorr. We're going to change it up here. We'll give candidates 5 minutes and the chief candidate 10 minutes. And we'll go ahead and pass this over to Ethan and to have Flora bless this and bless the event here tonight.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out. I do wish you guys luck in your candidacy and your running and your platforms. You know, speak from the heart. I know everybody gets passionate. You know, just think about the youth and the young adults and the things that they're going to be doing and you're going to be doing for them. So, as always, we start in a good manner. And we're asking Elder Flora here to say a prayer for us and a few words if she'd like.
Okay, I'm glad there's a good turnout, and we're at a time where it's very crucial. Our young people, they're our future generation. How to vote and myself as an elder, I'm concerned about my 4 grandkids and 7 great grandkids. And I'm sure a lot of us elders are very concerned, and I'd like to say a prayer for strength and just for this forum to have a good turnout in a good way. Okay. Ai uspeta pio. Kinokatsin katsumat pinana no kukoi. No kipis kutu kinana no tawatsamo scoop. kistuanne kitipsta pessanok. An käännistiskunna taapsisti peetapio. Akaiku annohka kinnineeksiki. Tän stoutuitsikakin pinnaan. Etaps tukuhkiitsi. Miikiskuhtak. An matunuanista peisiuatsiks. Nistu matuksni paatsiks. Kiuksutespskni maatsaks piiksi. Nokkutsissa kimma piipitsiisin. Kamaa koupissa. Mahki kimmaksa hukea pitä piiksi. Kimma taapsiiksannikse eipakkuja annokka. Niitä ei nuoja. Kääksi. Mä niitä piiksi edapatsiskaatsaa. Mahkukskaattaksa. Takan sutuitsikaksinansiksi. Yksi kiitäkipinan niin tumakita piisinaan. Kistuanne kitsiitsitapi. Kitsknipnah kaa koopi. As I speak now, Lord, you already know who's going to be the chief and the elected council, Lord. And I just pray that you have mercy on Siksika right now. Lord God, you know our needs and just the crisis that we're facing each day, Lord, with the government making changes that affect our people, Lord. Heavenly Father, I just pray that your presence is here, I know, Lord God, and that we can come together in a good way for the betterment of Siksika, Lord. Thank you in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
All right, thank you, Flora, for the prayer and starting out in a good way, and thank you for your words. So, again, for candidate members that are running for council, we're going to give you 5 minutes, and for chief candidates, we're going to give you 10. So, we're going to go down from the list. Nobody. We're going to go from top to bottom, and then as people come in, we're just going to throw them on the list, and we're going to go from there. Again, so you guys got 5 minutes. Share your platform, what you're going to do, what you're going to do for the nation. And I do know you guys get passionate.
Just before we start, we had a request here that we have a moment of silence for Jerry Blackhorse. So we'll just go ahead and take a moment here to just pay some respect as a group.
Okay, thank you everybody for that moment of silence for our nation member. And now we're going to kick it off, and we're going to start off with Conrad Timothy Lowhorn. Share your platform, and I will share you guys' full government names. You know, I'm a bit of a Fed like that, so come on up.
Tim, aka Tim.
Everybody knows him as Tim. He's a well-known community member. And I'm just going to pass it off to him. He's got 5 minutes, and here you go.
Well, welcome, guys. My wife was telling me that this was happening around like 5 minutes to 6, and told me it starts at 6. So I thought, well, I didn't sign up, but I'll come down and support the family anyways. And I guess I'm up here speaking now, so I forgot I was campaigning, I guess. But 5 minutes. Well, this was a youth forum for the youth. I think, I spent the last probably 17 years working with youth specifically. Started off working with building sports programs. About a decade and a half of coaching in various sports, basketball, volleyball, hockey. But I think one of the most significant works I did with youth was probably working with Alberta legislation and advocating for youth in care to try to, try to meet the gaps that are missing in our child care protection system. In the province, there's a huge gap of supports for Indigenous youth, well, First Nations here in Alberta. So, and also working with youth interprovincially and working with BC to ensure kids are getting the supports they need and holding their workers accountable to ensure they get the support. So, but what I really think is from I guess you can say from a governing body, what our purpose really is leaders. I'm not saying I'm a leader. A leader isn't something you can say you are. I was learning from a traditional elder that it's a position where they go when the people choose to follow them, and whoever the people decide to choose to follow, that's the sacred position of our leaders, and the people are going to decide who they're going to decide to follow. So it's not really our position to say we are leaders. We could say that, but really it's the community and our clans and our people that say you're a leader and they follow you. So it's a pretty humbling experience to go through this process. But I know I have short time here, but my priority is we have to build our economy. And we could focus on throwing money at people that want to bring forth business, but I really do think the essence of creating an economy is you have to focus on a generation, and that's the kids, and that's the teens, and that's the ages between 16 to 25. We have to provide them with the knowledge and the programs that train them up to understand the movement of money and also understanding how economics and how business works from the beginning, from loans to developing business plans, giving them the tools so that they can understand what it takes to actually, when you have a great idea, what steps you need to take to create that. Because right now, we're in a shortage of jobs since the beginning. I don't know. We're highly government dependent. Regardless of what we think we are at, I think over 95% of our jobs are government jobs. We're highly dependent. Our economy is dependent on the government. The only way to offset that is to educate our youth to be able to, as a leadership, we have to create the framework that opens the door and allows those youth to succeed when they decide to put their ideas forth, and also too to be able to create jobs for Siksika. That's who's going to create jobs in the future with their ideas. We can throw money at everything, but we have to focus on investing in our own people, and that's really the essence of trying to develop our own economic standing and develop leverage instead of being always dependent on government giving us money so that we can, try to get by. We got to create our own and stand by ourselves and stand on our own. And that starts with training our kids on how they stand alone and be able to create jobs. But that's really an idea. But I wasn't expecting to speak here, but be the first one of all, I've been lucky every forum I show up. I'm usually the last one to talk, so I could, just kind of gather my thoughts. But really, that's where I think it is. We have to focus on our youth to be able to give them the tools to create jobs for the next generation. Because right now, I respect all our business people in here. that work to try to employ our people and try to do that. But we need to invest more into education of our youth and also create the framework that allows them to walk and be able to share their ideas and be able to test them in the market, our market, Siksika. Go.
All right, thank you, Tim. And yeah, just be ready for anything that comes up here. I didn't know he was a little bit of unaware of speaking, but I'm glad he came up. You know, he's gonna be running for council. So that's Tim Lohorn, Conrad Timothy Lohorn. Next, we got Alfie Lohorn. So come on up, welcome in up, and share your platform. You got 5 minutes.
Okay, Metapigs, Natanaku, Stomach Seas, Kamapi, Buffalo Boy, Alfred Lohorn, and na nin Ikanokomi, Hubert Lohorn, and na Nexist, Agapixi, Ramona Lohorn. I guess the reason why I'm running is because I want to make a difference for the reserve. Educated in multiple fields, and I know I can benefit the reserve. And the thing is, we all know about the issues that we face on the reserve and off the reserve. And especially when it comes to housing, we got a lot of issues with housing on and off the reserve. And the thing is, we need to bring solutions, and I have solutions towards some of the things that we need to address, especially for housing. We need to get help from nonprofit organizations and corporate sponsorships. And then when it comes to renovations, we need to get government grants as well. And people don't know how to navigate those, so we need to help them navigate how to get those government grants for renovations. And then for the youth, we need job creation and training and employment with security, with insurance, mentors in trades. And we could create our own indigenous incubator in which I helped one company in Calgary develop their funding, because it helps students that graduate in trades, and then it helps them buy existing businesses so they can own those businesses. We mentor them into it so they don't work for everybody. I mean, for somebody else, they work for themselves. And then we need social assistance programs to help the homeless people on and off the reserve, daycare facilities on and off the reserve, funding programs and equal share of government funding, because once you're off the reserve, a lot of people, they don't get the same funding that they get on the reserve, and it has to be equality when they're sharing those resources. And then when we developing infrastructures, we need to share those infrastructures and know who's accessing, especially with that internet that they're putting on the reserve. Is Siksika Tau going to be using those infrastructures that are in place? And then educational funding. We need affordable housing for students, post-secondary students on and off the reserve. And the way we do that is we either build our own apartment buildings, or we purchase existing buildings to help house them, to bring down the cost for them. We need more scholarships created, because on the Blood Reserve, they have probably triple the amount of scholarships that we have, and we need to do that. And also we need to help students with guidance through these resources and funding, like scholarship bursaries, where some of them don't know where to access them properly. And then we need medical care and transportation. I'm advocating for a hospital and a dialysis unit, and develop it cultural sense of programs that are focused towards mental health, because we need to get the community and off addictions, and also have their mentality properly in place if we're going to give them jobs and educational housing. We need to go step by step by doing so. And we need easier access to transportation and accommodation for medical patients, priority access to elders and children. there's a lot I have here in store for us. The youth, they want skate parks, basketball courts, swimming pools. They want community centers. And the thing is that we need to have them addressed throughout different communities, because different communities want different programs in place. And not all kids are into sports. Some want music, some want art facilities, arts and crafts, and other activities. All youth are not into sports, so we got to help them with their interests as well. We need welfare checks for the elderly, a safe place for them so they can socialize and do activities like having bingos or games or just socializing. So we got to look at all the different aspects that we need to develop. We need paved roads throughout the reserve. We need way stations or park status so we can charge people that are traveling through our reserve toll booths. And then we need to address the pollution, the garbage disposal improvements, cleanup incentives for the reserve and different communities. Hire the youth, because a lot of youth are saying that they don't have summer jobs. We can create these jobs for them. Then we need to deal with our water and sewage development, growing population with advanced systems of water purifier system, especially because the water is coming down from Calgary through the waterways. We need to have a purifier even for wet rainwater, spring water. We can develop our own drinking company where we're supplying water out. We need to become self-sufficient in all these areas, from energy to food supply, production. We need solar power, wind turbines, water turbines, housing and solar power generators, perpetual motion technology, economic development. Yeah, so I got lots. If you guys vote for me, I can show you guys a lot of solutions.
All right, so I'm still working on trying to be a little bit of blunt and getting them off of here, so I'll do my best. But thank you, Alfred, for sharing that, and very passionate about his platform. So we got next, give me one sec. All right, so next we're going to welcome up Paul Melton-Tallow. Again, you guys got 5 minutes, and I'll be standing in this corner, so don't be shy to give me a look. If you feel like you're going a little bit too long, maybe you are. Just let me know. All right, thank you.
Okay. Maatskapkam sknokun. Namne natui suyina in exists pitaki. Yaptitinuk naka namnin. Stutu gena. What is so just tuts is xenema. Oko say xenua, Goko canista. Ania, let's give out its going to Kiawania, Hoko maka began equan. They bugais didn't chick maka began equan. Ani axenemia, nitskinis, Udawa. So my platform is kind of simple. It requires a strategic plan. And within that strategic plan, because sometimes we tend to focus on some of these issues disconnected. That's what a lot of people talk about, the administration, that it operates in silos. So we have to find a way to make them a comprehensive solution to it that'll connect all these different aspects of the administration. And to me, that's a strategic plan. I know Chief and Council, when they get on, they do have a strategic plan session. But that strategic planning doesn't include the people, just amongst themselves, coming up with ideas, et cetera, and mainly the chief setting the direction for which the council is going to take. So in order to do that, in order to come up with a strategic plan, we have to include the people. We have to get their thoughts on every aspect of the administration and also politically, how we're going to deal with the federal government, how we're going to deal with the provincial government. And we should be doing that as soon as it starts. We'll have an open band meeting. I know other candidates have spoken about this, and I agree with them. You know, great minds think alike. That we should have an open band meeting right away to get the input from the people. Because in this past two administration, chief and council, I imagine they've done great things. I got to tell you, I got to give credit where credit's due. Some of them have worked hard. Kasi ka po takia makokits pamos siksika. Pamatay sa etsanikatumax. They don't give the news out to the people. So that's what we got to do. Because now people, when they're uninformed, they have no news coming out, they start thinking. Because they're uninformed, they don't know. So they start thinking conspiracy thoughts. They start thinking, oh, they're doing this or they're not doing anything. But when they are, and people here get into the candidates get in there, that's basically what they'll be saying about you. If you don't start communicating with the people. And communication is a two-way thing. It's not giving somebody a quarterly report or a year-end report. It's going out to the people and talking with them. Because communication is two-way. You send a message, and then you get a response. Unless you do that, it's just one way. You're just telling the people what you think, what you want for them. You're just telling them, this is what's good for you. But you can't do that. You got to get the people involved. And that includes everything. Includes political. We're talking about this MOU. Well, this MOU is basically just an agreement to talk. But what we need is a plan of our own, because they've tried it before, all different ways to try and impose self-government on us. Now, if we have our own constitution, whatever you want to call it, and they try again, tell them, no, we already have our own. We don't need, we're good, you know, we're already dealing with the situation. So that's what I think is that, yeah, get together instead of talking about each subject detached separately. Because if we don't do anything about those things, we're just spinning our wheels, and next 3 years, they're going to be talking about the same thing because we hadn't done anything.
Thank you, Paul, for sharing your platform. So again, we're going to ask Trevor Jack Royal coming up. He's a very busy man. He's on his phone right now. No, you're good. You're good. Okay, so we're giving the chief candidates 10 minutes, and I'll be standing over in this corner, maintaining that as best as I can. I'm trying to be polite about things. You know, I don't want to be a real lack of a better word. I can't say this word, but just like a not good person, you know? So I'll welcome up right now Trevor Jack Royal, and he's running for chief.
Okay, kirawa yachtoki. Anya so gapi. Okay, git knek sama tempo noch ga existigui. Nicht wanna go ga is gesuchgitsma. Zekrachsi da noch git genau doch so. Ako git is stu gdaya ax oxga six. Giax git da beam nun. An sixim staya a kan sluxga sit stu but no mach ja pochts. Nicht wanna go ga is gesuchgitsma. Nicht du zip nicht sinnig gas im Namen nachs. Sachguma bina. Gi nach six anstaya na tuiso gas nam nixist. Ut gemmoni sa ki oxist ansta na tuiso gas. Ginim oxist ansta dan zeker nan kipitaki. Niitsi ki ansta. Esukinakiaki ki no katsitsinawasi nixi motu kicks. I'll speak English. Thank you. I wanted to just first of all, say thank you to the organizers. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, and thank you for the prayer to my sister Flora back there. So I welcome all of you. As I mentioned, my name is Jack Royal. I was explaining my Indian name, Charges Back. It came from my grandfather, great-grandfather, Boy Chief. It was a war name, and that's where it came from. There's a whole story behind it. But also, I mentioned my mothers, my grandmothers, and my mother, Judy Blackhorse on my mother's side, her mother, Martha Blackhorse, medicine traveler. And thank you for the prayer. My family's actually meeting right now, so when I'm done here, I'm going to head over there for our late Uncle Jerry. He was our patriarch for our family, so it's important. And also my great-grandmother, Mary Waterchief, Nitsi Nikikipitaki. Probably a lot of us come from the family. And she was a medicine woman. She doctored. And she was also the head of the Buffalo Women's Society. So I just wanted to acknowledge him. That's where a lot of my teachings came from. In my brochure, I'll speak to it quickly, and then I'm going to get into some youth items. Give me the 5-minute or 6-minute or something. I mentioned, and I haven't wavered from my initial plan in my brochure, the Siksika values as taught to me by my grandmothers. Siksikaitstapi, our way of life, our culture, our laws, our protocols, our customs, our spirituality. Nitapitapiuchsin, being real, being honest, being humble, being respectful. Gimmapipitsin, caring, being kind, having empathy and love for one another. This is what I was raised with, along with to help one another, to work together, to help others. We all need help. That's why we're all here. And I'm happy to see a full house here because it tells me that you all really care. So thank you. I could say it's in Sosatapi, not to be involved in conflict, not to be involved in drama, and not to be involved in anything. We're all on the same team. We're all trying to help each other. It doesn't matter who's running and who gets in. We're all here to help each other. And iksapi, laughter. You know, laughter is one of the things that I was being silly. I'm still a little kid at heart, so I was trying not to be disrespectful. So sorry, Paul, if I kind of made a big laugh over there. But anyways, that's what we were brought up with. And my leadership plan, those are the values, but also includes, we do everything in 4. So it's in 4 areas that are going to happen unilaterally. However, the first one is the most important, Siksikaksiman. It's our way of doing things. And what I have on there, it's developing our systems, our governance systems, our, everything, our policies, plans, everything that we do that are grounded in our Siksika or Blackfoot cultural knowledge and traditional ways. There's a whole explanation for that. And it's good to bring the youth forward on it because we're not only going to go out and get your opinion on Siksikakstim, on how we're going to govern ourselves and the nation and the programs, the services, the managers, council, everything, everything that we're going to use for our nation that I'm going to bring to a vote, whether it takes 1, 2, 3 years, and I'm going to bring to a referendum. So everyone will have a say so that we can ensure that we're all following what we are raised with. In our traditional ways. Those traditional laws and ways of knowing brought us to where we are today. That strength brought us to where we are today. It wasn't Napiquakes, it wasn't Napiapi, it wasn't white systems, it wasn't Napiquakes, it was our ancestors, our grandmothers, our grandfathers. So I'm going to bring it forward for a vote. The second one was a Siksika political and legal strategy. I want to develop a Siksika sovereignty strategy framework that upholds our inherent constitution, treaty, section 35, all of our rights and all of our treaties. We have a number of treaties: Jay Treaty, Lame Bull Treaty, Laramie Treaty, Treaty number 7, which was known as the Blackfoot Treaty. There's over 20 that we've signed. So, we don't have just one treaty. And by the way, we weren't conquered. Napiquakes never conquered us. We are always here since time immemorial. There's DNA that proves us to be here. I've seen 30, but the one that I know for sure is a fact is 18,500 years old by the Alpha Bio Labs, if you want to look it up. We're the oldest people in the Americas. So we need to take advantage of that. We were here. We weren't just here learning, 2 years ago or 6 years ago. We've been here. So we need to harness that power and that strength and organize Siksikaksiman in our laws, our language, our policies, our systems to move forward. and use that and modernize it, and then we'll take it to a vote. But it's going to be our also how we're going to protect our rights, how we're going to educate people, how we're going to get input and feedback, and how we're also going to educate the youth. The third thing is economic strategy. You know, in order to achieve true sovereignty, we need economic self-sufficiency. So we need to, at some point, tell the government we don't need your help. In order to do that, we need to make sure that we're investing, but not just in money, in people, in youth, in people like yourselves and like yourself. You know, making sure that they're going to where they need to go, and we're not leaving the people behind. In our way, we don't leave people behind. And in this case, we're talking about youth. However, we need to make sure that we're investing in youth and in people, not just youth, everyone, but also making sure that with the end goal of becoming economic self-sufficiency, it requires a balance. And this is all we're all going to have a say under Siksikakstima. And the last thing I want to mention before I get into the youth is I'm talking fast because I had to talk really fast at the last one. They gave me 30 seconds to answer or rebut. So excuse me if I'm talking really fast. Siksika healing plan. A healing strategy. I've mentioned that we're 8 times worse than national averages when you look at the quality of life indicators. Or 8 times worse than national averages when you look at detriments to health. When you look at what Canadians enjoy, we're 8 times worse down here. There's a gap. We need to fill that gap. And it needs to be filled through a whole intricate, complex process that involves and our way of life, the creator, non-denominational religion, spirituality, building identity, building pride, engaging the youth, you know, creating some interest. So those are the 4 things. Quickly, go onto my website, see some of my Facebook or YouTube or TikTok. I try to explain it, but it's hard to explain in just 10 minutes, the whole thing. What I did want to say was, you know, I believe in our youth. I believe that there's a lot of smart youth out there, not just youth, a lot of people, that we need to harness that and use it, and that's our strength. These people are going to be leading in the future, so we better start paying attention to them right now. I want to go out to the youth, both on and off reserve, and ask them, how can we help? You know, get them to tell me. I'm not a youth. I used to be one, but that was last year. But, you know, we need to make sure that we're asking them. You know, I'm not an expert in everything. So as a youth, you tell us what's working, what isn't, how can we help, what's your priorities, what's the issues, what's some suggestions, what's some recommendations. I have ideas, but I don't want to meet the youth needs and then I'm not a youth and I'm way out in left field. So the youth needs to tell us, you know, and same with off reserve and same with Omkitabiks, older people and members. This applies to everybody. We need your help in what your priorities, recommendations, challenges, and everything is. And coming up with a plan. You know, I think we need to go out and meet with them and say, what's your needs and requirements? And then look at what's being provided. And then look at that gap in between. And look at our resources, our programs, our services that are currently being offered, and how we're going to fill that gap together. And then we all play a role in that. So we need to assess it and take an inventory and look at what the current state is, and then move forward in a good way, in a logical way, in a comprehensive way, in a fair way that involves everybody. And so I'm not a youth, but I'm going to come out, and that's my guarantee to ask you, like, remember what I said at the church in Chicago? Well, I'm back. If I do get elected, maybe I won't get elected, but if I do, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you, this is what my commitment was to you. So we need your help. You know, I have ideas. I don't know how much time we have. Okay, employment, we need succession plans for these youth. There's a lot of people that aren't from here that are working. People get out of school, they have no job, have a higher education. We're employing a lot of non-members. We need a succession plan to get them in. We need training, we need to mentor, we need housing, language, economics, and other things. So, okay, thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank you very much.
Again, that was Jack Royal. Thank you very much. And just as a reminder, we are streaming on the internet right now. It's on Facebook and YouTube. So you guys, there's people out there that are tuned in right now, young people and old people.
We have some good viewership on Facebook and on YouTube as well tonight. And if you're a candidate and you're watching and you say, I I wish I was there. I'd like to take part. Come on down. As long as the camera's going and the stream's running, we'll fit you in here tonight. And that way you could get your message out on a good electronic version of your campaign platform. So who we got next, Ethan?
Okay, next we got Shaylin Smith. So welcome her up, and she'll share her platform.
Yo. Make it shorter so you can hear me. I'm not very good at adjusting this. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe. Can you hear me? Okay. So I've been winging it at most of the forums, and I'm just actually going to go with a speech that I wrote because I feel like that way I don't lose track of my thoughts. Oki Nixukoix. I'm Shaylin Smith, Nustuanakok Anatsunamayaki. I'm the daughter of the late Rosemary Manyheads. I'm also the granddaughter of the late Jasper and Cecilia Manyheads, and I'm the traditional granddaughter of Tom Cranebear, the late Tom Cranebear. Thank you all for being here. Over the past few weeks, I've spent a lot of time introducing myself simply because I've spent a lot of my life, most of my life, my career off reserve. So now I want to share that experience both within our nation and across Canada that I've gained and that would support me in serving you as a council member. The foundation of my career is built on working in nonprofit and educational sectors, providing direct programs and instructional services to Indigenous children, youth, and young adults, both on and off reserve, and in the US and Canada. Over the past 15 years, I've worked in roles focused on Indigenous governance, consultation, policy, and communication with Siksika, other nations, and the federal government. In each of these roles, I've learned how to advocate for Indigenous communities within systems that are often slow, complex, and inherently designed without us in mind. I've sat at decision-making tables as the only Indigenous representative in determining the allocation of millions of dollars in funding, and I have guided those discussions towards supporting Indigenous-led organizations and projects. I provided strategic advice on high-risk files, managed major projects, and supported national decision-making, and ensured that Indigenous voices were respectfully included in discussions impacting lands, culture, heritage, and policy. This work strengthened my ability to understand legislation, navigate government processes, and push for outcomes that respect Indigenous peoples and their knowledges. It also taught me the importance of strong, transparent communication. I've seen that trust grows when people are informed, respected, and included. I also bring direct experience working for the nation. During the flood recovery, I helped support engagement with affected families through delivery of notices door to door, radio messages, and hosting focus groups and community meetings. I also designed and managed a project that brought together multiple nonprofit organizations and helped furnish more than 200 homes. These partners and the project design was used to assist other flood-affected communities in Alberta, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. Today, I serve on the Siksika Nation Treasury Board, where I support oversight of our trust accounts and investment strategies and the budgeting and audit process. Most importantly, this work has focused on the development of financial policies and improved processes to increase adherence to our financial administration law and ensure accurate financial reporting from all nation departments and entities. Importantly, this past year, Treasury Board recommended to Chief and Council to increase the living allowance to post-secondary students because we all know the struggles of working to try and get our education. These experiences have shaped my leadership. All of these roles, federal, community, and nation level, have given me a rare combination of skills. I understand high-level policy and the colonial systems that affect our daily lives, but I also know how to do the practical day-to-day work to implement programs and services. I know how to write policy, but I also know how to sit with a family going through crisis. And I know that sometimes doing the right thing means that policies may need to be changed. I know how to advocate at national tables, but I also know how to listen deeply to elders, youth, and community members. I can manage a complex file with multiple partners, but I also know how to communicate simply and clearly so members know what's happening and why. If I am elected to council, I will bring this experience home. I will work for our nation, but with the people. I will advocate for Siksika's rights and interests at every table. I will support decisions that center the well-being of our nation, of our youth, our elders, our women, our most vulnerable members, our relatives both on and off reserve. And I will push to ensure that every member has access to information, resources, and fair processes with clear timelines. I'm ready to serve from day one, and I'm going to bring transparency and a strong Siksikawa voice. Thank you again.
Thank you, Shaylin. And if I look angry up here, I'm not angry. I'm blind as a bat. I ended up breaking my glasses at work the other day. They got smashed on some cement. So I'm trying to like see who's all here. I'm trying to squint. But next we got up Chris Eaglerib. And Chris Eaglerib is going to share his platform. And he's got 5 minutes.
Okay. My name's Chris Eaglerib. Been living back on the reserve for quite a while now. So the youth are very important subject to me. I think we should start with our youth in the teachings, what they're teaching now. You know, we should, if we want to build up a better Nitsitipik when he grows older, or when he or she grows older, we should start from our educational level. We should introduce them to the treaties. We should introduce them to the Indian Act, you know, to self-governance, what it means, how it works, you know. And by the time they get out there, you know, they're going to be more self-aware, you know, be aware of what the Indian Act is and how it benefits us, how it not benefits us, how the treaty works, how, same thing, the pros and cons of a treaty. Because right now we're just being taught in school that not be Ikwe, you know, everything's not be Ikwe. We're going through to not be Ikwe, and we're still being told to do what we should be done by education, the Board of Education from Alberta. We're not being told what to do with our own kids. We should be told how we should be teaching these kids, what they should be taught. They should be taught only about Siksika, because this is our heritage. You know, we could bring in like the beaver bundles, the pipe bundles, the tea dancers, the Blackfoot dancers. That's all educational. That's all educational, and that's something that every Nitsitipik should learn, because that's in our treaty. That's what's keeping us treaty, is our way of life. You know, I understand that. You know, it's a big Christian following, and it's hard because I'm a part of the Horns, and I see it. We don't get the same amount of people that we do in Standoff. Standoff is, they're big into their culture, but they went underground with it. We just lost it, you know. And we have to get that back in order to make our kids stronger, you know. And this program I wanted to start, if I was to get in, it'd be called Building Your Bouquets. You know, you start off, you bring in 50 kids from the reserve, 50 kids from the city. You bring them in. If they don't have an Indian name, that's the way you're going to start them off. You start them off with an Indian name, and the incentive is, at the end of this year you're with these kids, they're going to have a fully beaded outfit, not just a cloth outfit, not just something to start off, but a fully beaded outfit. How many of these kids right now go to these powwows and they can't afford to do that? They can't afford to get outfits for themselves. You know, they can't afford to buy that, but they do. They want to be part of that. You know, they want to be on that dance floor. And what better way to tell them, you know, we'll help you with this. You know, we'll help you get you to your goal. All you have to do is learn about your own people, your own cultures. So we take them in that year. We take them to Sundance. We take them to a couple beaver bundle openings. We take them to pipe ceremonies. We take them to tea dances. You know, and then when their birthday comes up, we get their whole family together and we have a ceremony for them. You know. And we build that kid up. We build him up to where he's just feels powerful, and mentally and physically he'll be a better Nitsitipik for not only himself but for us as well. And then when he's ready to go out there and get an education, we subsidize him. We help him with his bills, you know. It's hard getting that education. And it's mentally really exhausting to go into school and learn, you know. And then you got to worry about your bills, your car, your rent, your electricity, you know. And you get some back home, but a little bit more wouldn't hurt, right? And all you're doing is incentivizing that child to look back and see when he graduates, my people were there for me, you know. They did this program. They helped me get this. They helped me through my education. So now I want to go back to Siksika and help. And right now it would be good, but right now we're investments. Yes, we're standing really good on investments, but economically we don't have a leg to stand on, and that's true. So if we're to go to self-governance right now, we'd be going in like this, you know? We'd be hopping on one leg. We have to have both legs down on the ground, and we have to be ready to run. And then we'd be ready for that. But we can't get our youth ready for that if we're not teaching them that. So we have to teach our youth all this stuff in our schools. That's where it starts. And then we're going to build them up to what we want them to be and what we know they could be. All the leaders, they're going to be leading when we're all old farts. So what are we going to leave with them if we don't invest in them? That's our biggest investment. Our most lucrative investment is our bouquets. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Chris. That's also Chef. You guys might know him as Chef. He cooks a lot. For you guys that are in the crowd, how are you guys feeling? Do we need to add more wood? You guys warm enough, or should we throw in some wood? Are you feeling good? All right, you feel okay? Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna ask we're gonna continue along with the order. We're gonna ask Jamie Spring Chief if she can come on up, share her platform. She's got 5 minutes. Awesome.
A little bit shorter. Okay, I might talk a little bit fast, but not as fast as an auctioneer. Just kidding. First and foremost, I want to say our youth are far more advanced and smart than we give them credit for. They are, through the comprehensive community plan that we have going out of the Economic Development Office, we've done a lot of community engagement, and a lot of that has been with youth. And they are talking about systems, future, technology. And so when we take it just back to the minimal, to me, I feel like it's patronizing. And I want to give our youth far more credit for their thoughts and their plans. I want to also state just two things because we only have 5 minutes. Some of the programs that we have right now running are really important to our youth. One is the Small Business Grant Program out of the Economic Development Office. It's a grant program that we run yearly, and it comes hand in hand with training programs to help any nation member start from the bottom up with a business. So whether that's learning how to write a business plan or learning how to do financials, learning how to register a business, it's all aimed at improving Siksika's economy. MNP did a leakage study for Siksika, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. The amount of money that we spent off reserve is in the billions. And, everybody talks about establishing our economy. We've had these grant programs for a long time, going back to Lake Connie Poor Eagle. And when we start to hear campaigns about these programs that we should be initiating, to me it speaks to a very large information disconnect, because we already have these programs here and we want to utilize them, and we want the community members to utilize them. So the Small Business Grant Program, anybody is open to access that. We have a Siksika small business incubator / resource space that is going to be opening this spring. So when we talk about small business efforts and the economy, we have things in Siksika. The last thing that I want to talk about is our post-secondary support program. In the discussions that I've had so far, it's been a little bit disheartening to hear that some of our students are really struggling at accessing that program. They're either getting denied or they're getting subjected to policy that is working against them. We're talking about students who are going to have to focus on studying and living. Some can't even entertain the idea of working because they're so bogged down just in study. And so we have an allowance program that's not enough. It's not up to date with the cost of living. We're setting our students up for failure. Last leadership that's exiting right now, they have a mandate. They have actually addressed post-secondary funding to really meet the needs of our nation. but for some reason, the policy that we're implementing is not connecting in the same messaging. So for leadership, it's going to be really important to look at our policies, and do they need to be updated? Do they need to reflect directives and mandates that leadership is trying to implement to help our nation youth? My son is going through it right now. But like I said, I've received a lot of feedback. I advocate for my son a lot, but I fully recognize that a lot of youth don't have that. So I've taken it upon myself to advocate for others. And like I said, complete reform to go back to directive and mandate. So those are, the three things that I really think are important for our youth. This is a youth forum. And I can't go back enough to say, you know what, our youth are hearing some messaging right now, and they're really worried. They're really worried about stopping a good momentum that we have right now. They're worried that we're going to go right back to square one if we start trying to do radical reform and just rebuild everything when we have some really good momentum and we have a really good foundation. So they're saying, how can we, move along in a good way, but also culture and heritage, bring that with us. So we really need to listen. And I wish we had chief candidates here right now. I hope some are online and hearing that, because some of our youth are really feeling and saying they're overlooked, and they're literal geniuses. So I'll just leave it at that. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Next, we got Gordon Muggsy Redcrow. Being from Siksika, you don't really hear everybody's real name. You just hear their nickname. So right now, I'm actually hearing your real government name, and it's so different. I feel like I really tell you're getting old. All right.
Hi, I'd just like to thank Stephen for hosting and all the people that are in attendance. If you don't know me, my nickname's Muggsy, and sorry, I just gotta put my glasses down. Hold on a second here, Muggsy. So I'm kind of too big, or no? Just. Okay. Good. Okay, next one. Utskui Gakadusi Skumapi. My traditional name is Blue Star Boy. It was given to me by Old Man Black Kettle when I was 5 years old. My dad wanted me to get an Indian name at that time. My nickname's Muggsy. I grew up with that. My Auntie Myrna, Running Rabbit, gave that to me because I played a lot of hockey, and I still do today. If you don't know me, I'll share a little about my history, my personal. I'm 52. I've never drank, smoked, or did drugs in my life. Broke my leg. I broke my collarbone, so I've been subject to prescription drugs. That's all I've taken. And I laugh about that. Why I bring it up is so when I'm working at my store, people come up to me and say, yeah, Muggsy, there's a rumor. People are saying you went through Happy Valley or drunk and you came to your store. So I just thought I'd bring that up and address that. Currently, I own a Siksika convenience store. I'm opening up the Siksika Arcade and Kitchen, and I've ran a food truck for the last 6 years. We've catered throughout Alberta to different venues, rodeos, powwows, Lake St. Anne. And it's been a fun journey in the entrepreneur world. So I've went through the process to get my business. In 2013, I applied for a Siksika convenience store. I went to land management, applied. I went through the committee, and then went through chief and council with the BCR. And then 2019, I wanted to expand into a gas bar. So I did the same process and did what was required, and that's where I'm at today. And at that time, 2013 to 19, I applied for the business grant that Ms. Spring Chief was talking about for the $25,000. And I went through IBC as well. I got $215,000 and excuse me, in grants and loans to get my business where it's at today. And part of that business was to help with the youth. So I opened up an arcade, pool hall, and a kitchen. It was supposed to be open up September 1st, but so delay because I broke my leg. And at that time, it was catered for the youth and young adults to come play retro arcade games, play pool, and have some good food. And then I'm opening up a Taekwondo gym. So from 98 to 2006, I obtained my black belt. And in that time, I taught Six Siga. I taught Taekwondo and Six Siga for 8 years. And some of them, they're black belts today. So I'm glad for their achievements. And the highest number we had was 80 students at that time. And I thought it was important because you learn self-respect, self-discipline, and the students at that time, it was something they were lacking and something I want to bring forward. And I went to school for the last 10 years. I completed 13 programs: business management, bookkeeping, accounting. Actually, I got one course left for accounting at MRU, and I'll have that. IT and Apple iPad app development. So where that brought me is it helped me with my businesses, and it's also brought other people to me to say, how did you get your grants, loans? And they wanted me to help with their applications. So I'm helping the community that way. And if I get on chief and council, I'd like to see improvements with what I have. Let's say the trail market. I've seen those 4 or 5 bays. They've been pretty empty since we opened up. And I'd like to occupy them with whether it's people from Six Siga. I'm hoping people from Six Siga, but I just need them occupied and the nation to start making money. And then in a forum today, I heard we're 95% owner of the Westin by the airport. If we're that much ownership, why is there white people, East Indians, occupying all the business side of that? Like how come we don't have Chris Eagle Ribbon there running his restaurant, or some janitorial services from Six Siga taking care of that? It's all white, it's all non-nation members running that, and we're 95% ownership and 0% nation employed. So I'd like to work on that as well. And my strength is marketing, branding, and business law. And I'm not going to say I know a lot of what's needed in chief and council, but if that's the characters you guys want in chief and council, I'm living that platform today, and that's what I got to offer you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Muggsy. Or Gordon. Yeah, thank you, Gordon. So next we got Rufus Redgun. If we can welcome him up, if he's still here.
Ethan,
Yeah,
I'm going to take a minute here and hijack this stream here.
go for it.
And on Wednesday, November 26th, if you haven't decided who to vote for me, Stephen Yellow Woman. That's my commercial.
All right, thank you. Okay, well, try it with that first. See how you sound. And then we'll ask the crowd. Go.
Testing. Can you hear me clear? No. Okay. Take it off. It's just that I don't want to pass my germs along, but so here's how a short interview. So, wait, hold on. Anyways, no dudes the piano Six Siga, and I been here for most of my life. Actually, I was just a young boy when this church was already here, and I think this is one of the very few times it's full. It's been full. Maybe the last time it was full was when I was my wedding. So my platform statement is empowering our community through experience and leadership. So thinking about my experience here at Six Siga, I've worked for Siksika for most of my life. As a teenager, I had worked with them through several jobs, summer jobs, and then I got out of school, well, dropped out of school, started an early family, and I continued, and I decided I got some encouragement from some local people to get into a trades course. And that's pretty well where I'm going to be at. I'll be focusing on the young people to head into trades, because we need our own electricians. We don't plumbers. And yes, we need our other certified mechanics in heavy equipment mechanics, operators for heavy equipment. I even say now that we have a few doctors and nurses that I've heard about. They're attending university, finishing off, and I really hope that this new council will really look at those and review all the policies. Our hiring policies should also have in the clauses that the people that they hire should be part of the training, not for themselves. In other words, you should be, if you're coming in to work here at Siksika, we'll orientate you. This is how Siksika works. So you need to help these health workers that want to be nurses and doctors to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. So I'm just going to read what I have here, and I forgot to introduce myself. Yeah, my Indian name is Mikotsina, it means red gun, and most of you know me. And again, I'm going to say, we're all related, and I said it. When I look back, our great-grandparents, Gas and Nunix, were related way back. Think about it. So I'm from the hind bull, many guns, 2 horns, tail feathers. That's what I remember. Beyond that, I have to find out. So anyways, I've had, like I said, I've had about 40 years experience here in Siksika that I could think of. And my thoughts are, we need to empower our young people with the guidance of our elders. When you say elders, it doesn't necessarily mean the old folk. You have younger people that are very wise. That's what we say, elders. That's the difference. So we have young people that are smart. We need to utilize everybody. And you have the people that are living here who are grassroots people. We could use them too. Why not? So when it comes to, I've heard, there's a lot of things that we need to address. And one of them is jobs. There's not very many jobs. What are we doing about those? I've heard people talking about it. Like I've ran three terms I've ran, and I've talked about these two, and I've heard the same things. When are we going to do something about these things? Are we going to, in some houses, again, some of these houses, the elders, they haven't had their houses repaired to the point that they're more comfortable. Roof leaks, floorboards, cupboards, doors. They just come and check and inspect them, but they haven't done anything. When are they going to start doing those things? Is it because we're short of carpenters? Do we need to continue hiring outside, or do we train our own people? And you're talking about wages. Well, I'm going to say these people that are in office right now, their wages are a little high, and I'm willing to bring them down. I'll be part of the people that say, okay, how much do you want to get paid? I don't mind cutting down my wage to a comfortable level. I'm thinking anywhere from 80 to 100,000, because that's 150,000 is a lot. Okay.
All right, thank you, Rufus Redgun, for sharing your platform. And, sometimes you kind of feel like a little bit of, especially being a moderator, you're trying to, stick to time limits and time strengths. And sometimes you're like, oh, am I even doing this right? But bear with me, everybody. So up next, we're going to ask Shirley Spotted Eagle if she can come up and share.
As Shirley makes her way to the front here, if you would like to ask questions here, roughly around 8 o'clock, a little after, we'll begin doing some questions in that as we go through the list here of the council candidates. If you want to ask questions and you have a Chrome extension browser, you can ask a question from wherever you're at home for any of the candidates, except for Jack had to leave. They're having a meeting for arrangements here tonight, so he sends his apologies that he had to leave and that, but we understand it's family time right now, and they could use some extra support and encouragement from the nation here. But if you have a question to ask, or you want to ask a candidate, or just in general, text me and I'll send you a webcam link, 587-727-0675. And with that, we'll go back to Shirley.
Okay. Nistonitaniku apis sapiaki. My name is Shirley Spotted Eagle, and because we only have 5 minutes, I'm going to go right into my platform. And so first of all, this I was told this is a youth forum. Quickly looking at the stats on this annual report, the age 18 to 29, 1,801 people. Age 30 to 39, 1179. So combined, it's the youth. You're going to determine who's going to get on council. It's 2,980 votes. Even if you add all the age groups, age 50 plus to 59, 734, 60 to 65, 296 people, 65 to 84, 457, 84 plus, 28 people. Add all those, that's only 1,500 people. So the youth, your vote is really important. 2,908, it's almost 3,000. So this message with the youth, it's really important, the youth, that you really think about who you're going to vote for, because in this, we have 49 people running for chief and council, and so your vote really counts. I don't know if all the people will vote. I did phone membership and tell them how many people vote. What she said is not even close to half. So roughly 2,500 people will be voting. So that's been, I guess, the trend the last few years. So young people, your votes are really important. And my platform, I'm just going to kind of repeat it. It's, as you're aware, council signed this MOU in 2021, and they've never really communicated to the people what they've done. At this forum I attended, they said there was a statement made that it's been terminated, it's dead. But if you look on that Canadian website and you click on who's still involved with these discussions, Siksika is still in there. So if this new council is going to terminate it, they need to write a formal letter and put it into the Facebook or the media to let the people know. This report that just came out from Chief and Council 2022 to 25. So this new council, we need reports like this, not just right before election. We need these every year, like starting like even this first 6 months. I know there's been talks about open community meetings. We need, with this many people, youth, that's close to 3,000, we need representatives from this youth on this council, whether it's a team of youth. We also need that segment of elders in there. A lot of our youth are in, some of them are in school. I work with elementary grade 1 to 6, Carsland, and then the Crother. So when I ask them questions, when was the treaty signed? None of them know. So we need to really teach, not just like from the little ones all the way up, start teaching them our history. It's really important for our people to know our history. So I think that's really important. On financial transparency in this document, it's interesting. I see a picture of myself in this picture. They say the bylaws are written with consultation with the community. However, on that elders abuse bylaw, I did sign up. I haven't received any phone call. So I think with these bylaws, and there's a bunch of them that are written in here. So in this room, who's been involved with the bylaws? Anybody? Can you raise your hand? So 0. So with these bylaws, we need people. We need actually consultation with the community, with this chief and council. And again, stressing the youth. We need, with this many youth, we need that, I don't know what we want to call it, youth council, youth committee. We need them in there as part of the structure. So a lot of these people that are running, they're not going to be around probably in the next 10, 20 years. So the youth, you're going to fill these roles. So we need to really work with the youth to start educating and training them, giving them whatever education that they need. So that's my platform. I'm glad open band meetings, it needs to be set right away. Is that it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shirley.
I just wanted to say something quick because I gotta get going.
Oh, yeah.
Real fast one. Yeah, I just want to talk to the youth quick and just tell them if you have any questions in that, you can phone me and we can ask me any questions that you want and learn more about my platform. My phone number is 587-577-1052. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. If you want to ask questions tonight, go ahead and text me 587-727-0675. I'll give you a link, or look for me on Facebook and message me, Steve Yao. I'll go ahead and send you the link. And once you do, you open it up on your phone, you click that link, and it should open up everything for you, and you'll see the live stream here. So if you want to ask questions, I have a few people asking now, but give you the opportunity, and we'll give priority to people that want to ask questions virtually.